Hello everybody, and thanks for checking out my review. Today I'm going to be going over the Suunto 7. This is a company that's based out of Finland. I've had a number of watches from them over the years, even long before I was doing reviews, and they make a really good, solid quality watch. Now, they're usually known for sports type of watches. So for instance, you had the Core and the Observer and just different brands out there, or different versions rather out there, that had like ABC abilities, altimeter, barometer, compass, and they started adding GPS. They started adding a number of different features over the time, and it was primarily made for sports watches. So this one is particularly a smartwatch with WearOS. The nice thing about this particular version is the fact that it's got the latest version of WearOS. So getting into the unboxing, you have of course the picture and the wording up on top here. On the back you have the international information along with all the barcodes, and on the other side you have information on WearOS and the different features and services that it works with, and then it just shows you Suunto on the other sides of the packaging here. So opening up by the stickers, this outer box is just a sleeve of course, and opening up this sleeve you will have another box, and this one has Suunto also written on the sides, and you open it up and here's the watch. And putting the watch aside, on the inside here you have your USB charger. And one thing that I really appreciate about this, it's got the keeper, which I'll get into shortly. And going into the packaging here, you open it up. There's another little box here, and it's just got your booklets, warranty information, getting started guide. And of course, you have the watch. Alright, so to give you a physical walkthrough on the Suunto 7, as you can see, this watch is fairly large. It's a 50 millimeter by 50 millimeter height and width. You have 15.3 millimeters thick. It weighs 70 grams or 2.4 ounces. The lug width is 24 millimeter. Suunto does advertise battery life up to 40 hours in battery saving mode and 12 hours in GPS training mode, and the average use should get you about a day and a half to 2 days out of this. So to give you just an idea on the accessories, what you have here, and they give you a nice little strap keeper there, you have the charger here. It's proprietary of course, so all you have to do to be able to charge it is you turn the watch onto its back, you hook it up, it's got magnets on the back there, and then you just leave it overnight and you're good to go. And the other accessory that they gave you was a nice pleasant surprise, because as I've mentioned in previous videos, typically when I'm going for a watch I like all black. This was obviously the black lime, and with the green color here, I was a little hesitant about it, but when I ended up receiving this along in the package, that made me very happy, because now I could virtually turn it into an all black watch. So that's a beautiful thing there. Now the case is stainless steel. The keeper here is stainless steel, and then on the back what you have is a glass fiber reinforced polyamide. So that's the materials that we're working with here. The straps, they're very, very comfortable. They're soft. It's a nice silicone. It's a lot of flexibility here. It's a good long strap, so this way it's keeping on pretty much any size wrist. On the rear here, you'll notice that you have the heart rate monitor, and obviously when you put the watch on, it's got the sensor that it's on there. So it's a very solid built watch. It's got the button at the 10 o'clock, and then it's got 3 buttons on the right side here as well at the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. You have the Suunto logo on the bottom, and the glass is the Gorilla Glass, and they have a few faces to work with. I'll get into that into the walkthrough, but that's basically what we're looking at with the Suunto 7 on the physical. Alright, so this review is primarily going to go over the Suunto features in this watch. Even though it has WearOS, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach, if you press on the I at the top right hand of the screen, you're going to see a link for my video that I did a few months ago for the WearOS. It's a very thorough review. It's very in-depth any detail that you could think of for Wear OS, that's going to give it to you. This video is primarily going to go over the Suunto features on here. So you'll notice I'll be touching the screen every 15 seconds. It blanks out, so this way it's a battery saving feature. It's a little annoying, I know, but just bear with me. The buttons, you can set up the buttons for whatever you want them to be. The primary button you're going to use, this is your home button. This is going to get you to the applications. So when you press the application button, one thing that you're going to notice, and one of the only big differences that I saw when it came to Wear OS, is they have a hand washing timer. So basically you click on that. They kind of took the idea from Apple Watch. You go in there and it gives you a 40-second timer to wash your hands. That's about all that's there for. That's the main difference on Wear OS. Other than that review that I referred to, that's going to give you everything that you need. The other thing that I'm going to show you is you have the button here that's going to take you to the Suunto application. You press home. You have the middle button, and that's going to give you a remote. But again, you can configure that to be whatever you want, your calendar events, fit applications, whatever you want it to be. And then your bottom one, again, the same thing. It's configurable. This is going to give you a stopwatch. And then you can just stop it. So that's what that's there for. Now I'm going to go over the faces on this. Suunto gives you 3 faces to work with. The main things that you could change out on the main 2 ones are the complications. So going into the rose one, which is basically a compass face, as you can see here, it gives you 3 hands, 4 hands actually with the seconds hand. And what you want to do is press down on it. You could press the little settings button there, and the settings is going to give you the complications that you could change up. So if you wanted to go in here and you wanted to change it to be general 5 items, for instance, you can go into unread notification count. So that'll tell you if you have notifications that you didn't read. That's the same thing with the other 2 complications. Once you're done, you press it in there and that'll take you here. Going into the next watch face, you have the marine. This is a nice basic watch face. Same exact premise. This one's got the 3 hands. It's got a nice little thing. It almost works like a compass. If you look at it, it basically has the seconds hand over here and then 3 little markers that just kind of move around, decorative. And going into the settings on this, it's the same exact thing. You can set the 3 complications there. And then the really cool watch face that they have here is, if you move to the left, this one only has 2 complications, but what it basically does is it takes your geographic data around and it tells you what's in the area in regards to sports. So to give you an example here, you press the little settings button here. You can change those 2 complications, but then you scroll down and you have a choice of a heat map, and then you could zoom in on the area that you want for the geographic. So if I go into the zoom here, I can go 10, 5, 2, and 1 miles back. So I can go into my neighborhood here, for instance, and then I can go into the heat map and I can find out where people are running, trail running, cycling, mountain biking, a lot of different options here. And then I could go into golf, for instance. So if there's anything like that nearby, what'll happen is it'll highlight it on the screen. Right now I'm in the suburbs and it's obviously 1:52 in the morning, so you're not going to see a lot of activity there, but it basically glows like an orange color in the areas that you do see those trails. It's pretty cool. Now going into the application, you go into the Suunto, or in this case, I can go into the Suunto application to the button here, and it gives me the choice. I have a bunch of sports that I could basically set it up for. So if I go into running, I press the start button, push it over. Get a nice little beep. It tells you that it starts. It checks your heart rate. It tells you the timing that you're using. It gives you your location. It gives you altimeter. It gives you all this information. And then what's nice is you see other data on the screen when you're swiping left and right, and that includes it'll actually map you live. Another nice feature of this that works with the application is it'll actually let you map your route. So this way it'll give you step-by-step directions on where you want to run. So it's a lot of good features in there. And then the nice thing is it actually works with the button. So if I press the top right hand, it'll tell me I can resume or end it, or I can play again. And if I want to end it, I press the bottom button here, it stops, and then it gives me all the data from the exercise that I just did. Altitude information, descent, recovery time, a lot of really good information. And then I can delete it or just close out. All right, so going into the home screen on the application, it's going to give me this nice screen here that's pretty well organized. And one of the things it's going to show me is my duration. So for instance, from the exercise activity I just showed you before, it shows me that I used 3 minutes worth of duration on exercise this month. If I go into the globe over here, that's going to take me over to my location. Unfortunately, it's going to give you my home location, so I'm not going to get too in deep in there. But I could scroll right and it'll give me a little bit more information, tell me how many calories I burned, how many steps I've walked. Going back, I can set up a little calendar event here, and it'll track everything that I'm doing over the course of the month to keep kind of an activity diary, which is really nice. And then if I press the right hand button there on the top, the bell, this is going to get me to the section where I can buy accessories, get a user guide, videos, social media with Suunto. And then if I scroll down a little bit more, it just gives me some extra information where I could take pictures of the locations I was at. I could post the locations or what I was doing on Facebook or social media. And that's the main thing on the main home page here. When I go into the bottom where the little notes section here is, it's going to tell me that I had 2 activities, and it's going to give me the idea for the calendar. Back up, it can give me analysis on the activity that I did, full analysis. It gives a lot of really good information. And I go down a little further here, and it gives me descriptions. I could basically write what I was doing, where I was at, so I could add the photos, like I said. I could type in just a lot of information I could be able to add in there. The middle section here is obviously the globe. I'm going to blur out the section there that's where I'm located at. This is going to allow you to find friends in this little area, so this way you can compete with friends, meet up with friends. It's a really handy feature there as well, just from a social aspect, because a lot of people tend to motivate each other. And on the bottom far right of the screen, this is going to give you your information in regards to a synopsis on everything that I just went through. You can connect to other services. So this way, if you wanted to go into Strava, Training Peaks, it gives you a full slew of services that this application works with. You have your settings, and the settings allow you to check the units. It allows you to put in your account information. It allows privacy information on who you allow to see what you're doing. You can save it to Apple Health, which is really handy if you're using an iPhone. And then, of course, you have your goals that you can set up, how many steps, how many hours that you want to have trained per month, your calorie counts. It just gives you a lot of really good information. So the application is just it's a nice app, very informative stuff. It's more information in here than I think I've seen in a lot of different applications. And once again, like I had mentioned earlier, that's really where Suunto excels in a lot of areas. They're a fitness company when it comes to the technology in their watches. So that's the application. All right, so here's the watch on my wrist, and I'm a 7.5-inch wrist. And it fits really nicely on my wrist. It might be larger for wrist sizes smaller than 7 inches is my guess. So I would definitely suggest that you try this on if you're able to. But this is how the watch fits here. All right, so that's my review on the Suunto 7. I hope you found it helpful. I'm periodically going to be picking up devices with WearOS, so this way I can just kind of periodically give you walkthroughs just on different ways that WearOS works. There's so many manufacturers coming up with so many creative ways to work with this operating system. It's great. If you want more information on WearOS, on the information bar, I did put in the attachment for the WearOS walkthrough that I did. It gives you any piece of information that you can imagine. I put chapter marks in there as well. So if you like this video, please press like. If you really like the video, please press subscribe and hit the bell for notifications on future reviews. You can also find me at Twitter at DougFNJ, and you can also find me on a fantastic website called WatchUseek.com. Excellent people, all different brands, all different discussion. You'll learn a lot, and there's a great sales forum there as well. So once again, I want to thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section below. Have a great day and be safe. Thanks again.